night, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Poetry and Perspective with Placide. I am your kind hostess, Cindy Placide, as usual. So, guys, I just had the most amazing show earlier. And let me tell you, if you were not on there, you have got to go watch that live because we had an amazing panel with so much information to give about autism because this month actually is Autism Awareness Month. It also is poetry National Poetry Month, but we were discussing autism and we were talking to folks in the UK and their perspective on how awareness is going on about autism in the UK, Ghana, and all of these other places. And it was really interesting. So I would urge you after this live, you need to stay on here, but after this live, go watch that show I had at 5 p.m. Nonetheless, I want to thank you, all my viewers, for tuning in to Poetry and Perspective with Placide. Of course, I'm an author, poet, advocate, and among other things, I am a mother and a beautiful woman. Yes, okay. So, guys, listen. The reason why I said that is because we have such an amazing show for you today. Into a different tune. I've always had mostly ladies on the show, but tonight I wanna. It's a new segment that I'm gonna have every 2 weeks, and I want to talk about men issues. Okay, men issues, what they're going through, whether it be finances, whether it be relationships, mental health. We want to hear from the men and how they are coping with certain stuff. So tonight I have two gentlemen here with me. And coincidentally, they're related. So you all know I'm in trouble tonight. I'm in trouble. But anyway, I would like tonight we're going to discuss mental health with men and oh my gosh, I'm losing my train of thought. And relationships. So tonight, I'm not going to, you all know who I am. Cindy Placide, of course. So I am going to bring two of my guests on. First person is Cine. He was on the show earlier. And the second person is Richie. I am not going to try to pronounce any last names today. I do not want to bite my tongue. So let's go. 1, 2. Hello, gentlemen.
Hey, what's up?
Hi.
Hi, guys.
How is everyone? Everyone good?
Yeah, everybody's good.
I'm hoping everybody's good. I'm not hearing it different, but let me of course, Facebook will not allow me to put this as I want to, so let me just do this right here. We have one guest over here already. Let me see. Hold on a second. Why is it not allowing me to? Okay. It's not allowing me to okay. To edit the privacy. Okay, there we go. All right. There we go. Okay.
Let's go.
Look at you. Someone there looking at my phone. Okay.
Yeah,
Leave
we
that
didn't have that.
Yeah. So guys,
Mm-hmm.
let's head the show. Okay. Let's hear the men. Yes, they want to hear the men. Okay, men.
Yes, it's about time.
Yes. I think it's gonna be a really interesting topic. I have one
yeah.
my guest and my co-host. No X-rated. Okay.
as if we would do that. Come on.
No,
Y'all know I'm extra. Okay.
only on birthdays. Only on birthdays.
and it happens to be my birthday today. no, it's not my birthday.
Okay.
It's not my birthday.
Guys, I did a little research. All right.
Yeah.
According to a lot of times men bottle up their feelings. A lot of times they bottle up what they're going through, like we've been taught to take it like a man and stuff like that. But I have learned that men suffer with high rates of mental illness, and usually when those they are more prone to commit suicide. There's an increase in the risk of mental illness, and suicide in men. And according to this article, it says that oh my gosh, men sex differences research consistently reports that male have a greater risk for suicidality behaviors or attempts after a relationship breakup with a divorce, men being 8 times more likely to die by suicide compared to women.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Is that a saying that men love too deeply, or men love deeply more than women? Is
hmm,
that the reason why men would commit suicide?
I may need some backup over here. So,
I mean, yeah, they say that men. You see, the thing is, a male figure was made for a woman.
mhm,
Now, men are attracted to women. Now, it's whether you're married or not, or you have a girlfriend or not, you're still gonna be attracted to a woman. You
mhm,
understand? Because that is how God made men,
mhm,
and that is how God made women to be attracted to men.
mhm.
So when a woman look at a man and say, "Oh, that body looking nice," they won't say it to their man's face, but they'll say it in their mind. You say, "Yeah, I want my man to dress like that. I want my man to look like that." You know, the real one would say that, but some women would be like, "I wonder how he is." That sort of thing. So but we keeping it real. So basically, like Sydney said, let me give you a picture of what I wrote down based on mental illness in men. So mental illness is one of the main cause of suicide in men, which is what you said, and it is common in both man and woman. Mental illness is common in both man and woman. So don't get me wrong, but it causes a different symptoms in the man. So men who are depressed may seem angry and short-tempered. So basically, sometimes a man comes into a relationship and you find that man real short-tempered, or he always angry. It's not his fault. It's basically the relationship he had before. You
So
understand?
he's carrying the baggage from the other relationship into the
E-
new relationship.
Especially if he's not counseled before getting into a new relationship.
Okay.
So he will carry the baggage. So it's rather sad, you know. It may be harder for men who suffer from depression to get help.
And why is
You
that the reason?
understand?
What do you think?
Because the reason why men would not go for help, because it would show a sign of weakness rather than treatable illness. Rather than treating the illness, men would show a sign of that would show people a sign of weakness in men. For people to know that, hey, I'm suffering from mental illness as a man, I will not do that.
So does that have something to do with the male ego?
Yes, men do have ego, and yeah, and it's sad, but it is what it is. But and I wouldn't say I don't have ego as a man, because men are not perfect human beings. So we do tend to fail sometimes, and we will accept that we fail, and we'll accept that we are dogs, but that doesn't mean that we don't love deeply. When we love deeply.
You said a very interesting thing. You said that doesn't mean we are not dogs.
Yeah.
I kind of like, I'm trying to figure out what is your personification of a male dog. Because I personally, I would not call a man a dog.
In other words, you would bite us, you would throw stones at us, you would tell us, I don't want you, but we would still try the next day to say, "Hey, you're looking good in that dress," you say that you wouldn't mind saying, you understand? So yeah, in that in that format, it's not every single thing as a dog will, it's not, the dog wouldn't describe a man, but basically a part of a dog and what the dog does would describe what we do.
Characteristics.
The characteristic. In other words, yeah, the characteristic. In other words, basically, you would kick us, we'd roll over, and we would, once we want you, we want. There's no other one. Until we get you, we not stopping. Yeah, that is the main focus of a man. Until we get that woman, which is, let's say it's Cindy. Until I get Cindy, I ain't stopping.
Cindy, you better watch out. You better lock your doors tonight.
I know, and I gotta put some that boots and everything. So listen.
Yeah, yeah.
I lost my train of thought. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. So I had this guy told me one time. I had known this guy for the longest while, and every time he keep bugging me, bugging me, bugging me. And I said, "No, you are married. You have a wife.
All right.
No
You
matter
don't
what
care.
I told him." No. He and that taught me a valuable lesson. So he told me one time. He said, "Let me tell you something. We men are very patient when we want what we want." He said it may take him 30 years, it may take him 13. He says, "Cindy, I will get you."
Mm.
And did
But
he?
what he did not know is this. Cindy Placide is as equally stubborn when she tell you she don't want you.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Tell you I ain't sleeping with you, I'm equally stubborn.
Okay.
He's
I'm
still
glad.
trying. He's still trying to this day. Okay.
See, but
I'm glad.
that's a man. That's a man who doesn't give up.
That's
He has
And
determination.
I admire his courage.
I
Mhm.
I
admire his
admire his
determination.
courage. He's
His
determined.
determination.
Yeah, he's determined. I admire that. I admire he doesn't give up, and he tries and tries. Even if she says no, he's gonna try and try. And that is the mentality that everybody should have about life. That even if life throws us down on the ground, that we should keep on trying.
Mhm.
Never give up.
So, so
So
there's a
Cindy, let me
couple of
hear your
things.
take.
There's a couple of things there. Um, now, um, I've got to say this. Now, even though you're saying no, I know because I've got three sisters that grew. I'm the baby of 9, yeah, and I've got 3 sisters, and my 3 sisters were all different in that one was a proper street road gal, proper. Yeah, the other one was all nice and pretty. The other one was homely. So they always used to talk to me about girls, women from young.
Mhm.
Yeah. And just like you said no, you said, yeah, you say no. There'd be times where they used to say to me, sometimes when a woman says no, it really means yes. So when the man says about his determination, yeah, sometimes some women find that attractive, the determination that a man is still coming for them, even though you told him no. Yeah, that's the first thing on it's only because that was the last bit there. Jumping back to what Cousin Richie said was about egos. That's one. Now, men have big egos. They don't like to be shown up. They don't like people to make. They don't like to be belittled. They don't like to look small in front of their friends. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's
Especially in a
men.
relationship.
Yeah, that's men. I'm the man. I'm the breadwinner. I've got to look like I'm the man. That's
Yeah, I got.
how they run it. Yeah, but
Yeah,
another
I'm the
thing.
boss.
Yeah, but it's good. You got to look at it like this. At the same time, this is a debate. You got to think about society. How have men always been looked upon from day one as the
Mhm.
breadwinner, the man, the hunter? And if they don't bring anything home to their wife and children, then you're looked upon as a failure because everyone else is doing that. That's
Mhm.
followed. That has followed men from time began to now. So
Mhm.
society has painted that picture that men should be this macho, masculine, and have no
Mhm.
fear, no cry. Because remember when you was younger, I don't know, but for you, Richie, when you was younger, if you was messing about with your dad or you went out football, or you fell over and you wanted to cry, your dad said, "Stop crying, man, get up. Yeah."
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I used to get. Stop crying, man. Get up, get up. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You soft? Because
Mm.
again, society is put in their heads that men need to be hard. And that is why men have struggled, and it's taken so long for some men to actually come and talk about their issues, how they feel. I've got friends around me that I've grown up with since primary school. So I'm going when I was 8, 9. My friends that I have around me, I'm one of them men that, yeah, I can go and chat to them. I can go and cry in front of my brethren. Yeah, feel no
Mm-hmm.
way. But then they don't judge me as, Cinny, you're being soft. Yeah, you're
Mhm,
weak. They don't judge me like that. So again, it's also to do with your social circle that you're around and how they're portraying things as
mhm,
well. And I think that all of that contributes to men not wanting to go and seek help, or if they do, it's all undercover. Nobody must know that I'm going to seek help. And
mhm,
again, like I said, society it plays a part in that. I'm not saying women don't go through the same thing, because of course women do. We're humans. We're emotional characters. Yeah.
mhm,
But
So,
for men, that is one of our biggest issues. We don't like to talk. We don't like to see like weak. Our brethren's going to take the mickey out of us and tell us, yeah, look, weak, why weak? No. What is wrong with saying, you know what, I need help. I'm feeling so bad. I'm feeling so down. I could do with a friend to chat to. And that friend just needs to listen rather than
mhm,
put him down and have a go at him. And that's where we're having problems, especially with men. We don't like to see or hear these kinds of things or think that we're not that type of person. But then you
mhm.
act all big and macho. But when you're at home with your wifey,
mm-hmm.
you're playing this soft kitten. Yeah. But you don't go and tell no, but you don't go and tell your friends, yeah, me just cooked for my wife last night and me did put petals on the floor so she could walk across. Because your friends will say, what are you doing, man? That ain't manly. No, for real. I know enough men that would want to do that, but they're worried about, yeah, but what's people gonna think? Stop thinking what others are gonna think. And
All
that's
right.
Mhm.
again, it comes down to society on how we're portraying male, female, how they should be.
So with that being said, society has been on the side of women. I think a little too much. In the way I say that because it was done where a video was being posted where they were doing an experiment based on a young lady and a young man. So that young lady went out with that young man, and what they did was that young man would beat the woman in public to see how many people would intervene,
Mm.
how many people would try to stop the fight. So with that being said, they went to through different locations, and that young man got jumped by several people trying to beat that young lady, and it was just an
An experiment.
experiment.
Mm.
So then it was the woman's turn to beat the man.
Yeah.
And when she beat the man, everybody just kept on passing by.
Wow.
Everybody did not lift a finger. So you see, the thing is, society has lifted up women so high that's why men go through the depression. You see, if it was equal rights based on a woman cannot beat a man and a man cannot beat a woman, I think it probably might have been different, and men would be more willing to express their feelings.
Well, women are known as the weaker vessel. Okay.
Mm.
And
But
so,
who said sorry, Cindy? But who said that? A man.
mhm.
Okay, so sorry to jump in, but even though they say a woman's the weaker vessel, I always hear this. Men could never cope with childbirth.
A woman is that is not true.
Yeah,
A woman,
that's
the
what they
a
say.
woman, a woman may be weak in strength, but a woman is the stronger vessel.
Yeah,
You
again,
know,
society
because
though.
yeah, because at the end of the day, when they break up, the man would be like, "Hey, go your way. I don't want you. You don't have to come back." You know that I remember when Martin and Gina and Martin Lawrence and Gina says Martin was like, "Go your way, go, go, go," and he was like, "Gina, Gina, where you going? Where you going? Come back, come back." You know, because the man never. When a man says go, he really means stay.
Hmm.
You understand? The man does not. The man loves deeply. Any man that loves, he loves deeply. A man doesn't really mean what he says when he says go. A man that really that wants to say go and he doesn't like he means it is a man that doesn't know what life is all about and he just playing the playboy role.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The playboy role. In other words, he wants to try to be a player. He's not a player, but he wants to try to be a player so he can please his friends.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. How they people people in society worry too much about what others think. And like I said, I am glad that how I was brought up by my mum and dad was to be who you are, speak your mind. And like I said, I've been in front of my male friends and cried. I don't business what anybody got to come and tell me. I needed to cry. I needed to let out. And like I said, they're the people that if I have an issue that's really bugging me, I go and talk to them. And I'm happy to talk to them and I will talk to them about anything. But like I say, you're not going to find many men like that because they're worried about this stigma of how I've got to look like I'm the man, I'm the big man. No, that don't bother me. I know who I am. That don't bother me about what other people think about whether I'm the big man or not. It really does not bother me one bit. Yeah. And I think,
So
no,
go
go on,
ahead.
sorry. No, go on, Cindy.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm doing something real
And
quick.
I think exactly what you was talking about with women, what Richie was saying about women um, in society, how women have always been kind of better looked after in terms of I don't know things like laws, etc. Like he said about the experiment, if it was a woman doing it, people walk past because they're most probably thinking, "Look at that man getting beat up by his woman." Because same thing. All these things have happened throughout history. But again, because of the shame and the stigma men feel, there'd be many a man from hundreds of years ago that used to get beat by their wife. But
But
nobody knew about it because they didn't want to go and say it.
but over the years, women have been a victim of brutal,
Of course, yes.
treatment.
Yeah.
So, do you think that is a contributing factor to women being, having that upper hand when it comes to, certain things in the society?
I think it's contributed. I wouldn't because there's many factors. It's contributed to it because over the last 10 years, the women who have been attacked, abused, then of course, like everybody, there needs to be laws put in place to protect everybody, man or woman and child, dog, cat. There needs to be rules in place. And I
Mm.
think the rise in, again, we have to look at the rise in one, why are these men now attacking their wives or their girlfriends or just women in general? What is it that's triggered them to make
Mm-hmm.
this happen? Because I'm sure that they've all got a mum, they most probably all got sister, auntie. They most probably would never abuse them in that same way. So why do they feel the need that it's okay to abuse this woman? Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is because I just think, like I said, men. A good friend of mine has started a charity about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, called "Don't Suffer in Silence."
Mm-hmm.
And he started that because his mum committed suicide
Okay.
and he started it, but he was suffering inside. That's why he started the charity. He wasn't telling people how he was feeling to the point
Mm-hmm.
where he ended up getting depressed, needed counseling. And that's what it was. Again, when we spoke to him, it was he felt that he had to be this strong male figure. He had a younger brother,
Of our
youngest
youngest
sister.
sister.
So that's what he felt. He felt he had to be this strong person, so he never had a chance to grieve or cry. And again, that comes down to society. He should have been able to do that like any man. And when men finish in a relationship, and like Richie said, men don't like to be honest about it. They won't go and tell their friends like, yeah, well, I'm the reason why we're broke up. They're always going to blame the woman. Yeah, she played about, she done this. They're
Mm-hmm.
always going to do that. They're not going to say, what did they do that was wrong?
Of
How did
course.
they contribute to this this relationship falling apart?
And not just that, you see, women would never accept that even if they're wrong, they would never tell their friends that they are the ones who were the bad in the
Yeah,
relationship.
yeah,
And he's
Sometimes,
gonna jump on you now.
yeah. It
sometimes,
is not
sometimes.
for women.
Like I
Cindy,
said, sometimes. Now,
Cindy.
basically, what would happen is, you see, the thing about let me say, the thing about women, they have what they like. They have what they like. So you see, a woman would tell you, which is women are keepers of the home, keepers of the home. So a woman would tell you, hey, babes, I need you to sweep the floor or wash the dishes.
Hold on 1 second. Before you continue, I got another guest on here. I got another guest on here. I think it's gonna get pretty interesting. I want somebody here. He's a good friend of mine. So let
Yeah.
me hear what he has to say. But continue, Richie. This is my friend Ethelbert James. How are you, my friend? It's a long time.
All right.
I'm
So
good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm
yeah,
good.
yeah, Mr.
Where are
James.
the women? I need backup.
All right. So as I was saying, so basically, women would say, when we in a relationship, a woman would say, hey, can you sweep the living room or can you wash the dishes for me? And then after you've done it, she would still go back and look at these dishes to make sure that you do it properly.
Why
Because
are you treating me like
because
this?
why? Because why? We never do it the way that they want to do it. So in other words, just do your own thing. Leave me
Richie,
out of it.
Richie, let me say
Li-
something.
Okay.
You hear me? You hear me, Richie?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Richie, first of all, a woman or your woman should never be telling you, wash the dishes for me.
Hmm.
First of all,
Sure, okay.
Yeah.
you are a partner in the house.
Hmm.
You are her boyfriend. You are her everything.
Hmm.
She don't have to tell you wash the dishes for me. You know because if you supply the food, you buy the food, she has to make the meals. If you buy the soap powder and the bleach and whatever it is, she has to wash the clothes. So it goes both ways. So one cannot happen without the other. So
Right.
if the two of you are in the house and she's doing the laundry and
Hmm.
that needs to be washed, what is so wrong in you? Just take it upon yourself. Just gonna wash the dishes. She don't have to tell you, darling, I'm doing the laundry. Wash the dishes for me, please.
There's nothing wrong with doing it.
Okay, right
The
now.
issue the issue I have
Uh-huh.
is after you've done it, even after the issue is not about you washing dishes or washing clothes or sweeping the living room. The issue is about after you've done it, she
Mhm.
would still go make sure that you've done it the way that she wants to do it.
Well, let me jump in
Um,
for a minute, okay? Let
Richie,
me jump in
yeah,
for a minute.
go ahead, Cindy.
If there are different women, okay? I cannot speak
Okay.
for every woman, but I can speak for myself.
Go on,
If
baby. You tell him.
yes, if okay, you are my man. I've already cooked and everything. You decide to
Mhm.
cook the dishes, okay?
Mhm.
I will not come back and tell you I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say, baby, okay, you missed us for this is how I like to do it. But I'm not
Okay.
gonna go back and do it. You already do the work for me. Any loving wife or
Mhm.
girlfriend is
Mhm.
gonna use tactfulness when they speak
Mhm.
it to you. You understand? And
Right.
so I don't think it's right for if two of you are in a relationship, both of you are working, and then the woman cooks and the woman does this. You shouldn't have to tell the boyfriend or the man, could you wash the dishes for me, please, baby? I'm so tired. She's already cooked. She can say, okay, babe, out of love, I'm gonna wash it for you. You understand? I'm gonna because we both ate. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I also don't believe that a woman should be nagging a man about certain things. You understand? It goes. There's a balance in everything.
All right.
Look,
Balance.
at the end of the day, when the man washes the dishes, because like I know growing up, it was I used to hear that the kitchen, the women belong in the kitchen.
No, we ain't.
So not nothing growing up that was what has been said. The women belongs in the kitchen. Understand? So that's why they have perfected everything when it comes to the kitchen. The men were never in the kitchen. The men were
Mm-hmm.
always at work. So there is a tendency sometimes, and I agree with Richie somehow, that there's some women, some wives, some girlfriends, when you wash the dishes, they'll pass and say, okay, they will not, some of them will be tactful. They won't tell you right away. They won't say it to demean you or
Mm-hmm.
to put you down in some way, but they will still tell you, okay, well, you wash the dishes, I see you wash the dishes, but there's a plate and a cup. I see that there's a little something left on it, you know, and I clean it up. So, next time when you go wash the dishes, you know what she wants, you know what she's thinking. So, you as the man, you have to perfect it. Try to perfect. You will not be perfect because, like I said, we women are not part of the kitchen. You understand? That's how we was brought up.
All right.
It belongs to the kitchen.
I was
So
thinking. Go
as
ahead.
as a man, as a boyfriend, as a partner in the house, you have to try your best to perfect whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's to sweep the house. Well, I'm not good at making beds. I'm not good at sweeping. I try my best. If you go out my house to be clean, according to my standards, the way I know how.
Mm-hmm.
Understand?
So with this being said, and you said that the woman belongs in the house,
No, I never
in the
said.
kitchen, in the kitchen.
No, no, no,
Sorry,
I never
in the
said she
kitchen.
belongs.
That's
Listen,
what they said. That's what they said
that's
back
not what
then.
I said. Right, right,
Back then.
right.
So you're not technically wrong because the Bible did say the women should be the keepers of the home. You're not technically wrong because in King James Titus 2:5 it says to be
You want to go
discreet,
Bible? You want to go Bible on me there?
keepers at home, good, obedient to your husband, and keep to the home. That is what the Bible verse says. So you're not technically wrong. When because the Bible itself say that the women should be the keepers of the home. The man should be the one whose sweat thy brow shall make bread. By the sweat of thy brow thou shalt eat bread. So the men should work hard and the women should be the keepers of the home. So the Bible itself says that.
Hey,
So you're
listen
not
to.
you're technically not wrong.
But on the other side of the coin, on the other side of the coin, let's talk about feelings. Let's talk about feelings. Men are more at ease with their own angry feelings than women are. Because sometimes, with the situation with the house, the kitchen,
Mhm.
if you wash the dishes and you took your time to wash the dishes, and the woman can tell you, man, you wash the dishes properly, then that would create some kind of anger in you. Like
Yeah.
what if, and because I'll tell you something, women are more in touch with a much wider range of feelings than men. And many men would perceive that women's feelings sometimes appear to change quickly, and they find that irrational and difficult to understand sometimes. But you have to look at it more like you have to be sensitive in some way because you don't want any conflict to arise between you two because of that. Because you wash the dishes properly and she going to get on and she going this. Sometimes you know what you do. You take a
Which
glass.
is
You
shin,
take
which is
a,
shenanigan.
you take a glass of water. You take one sip of it and you keep it in your mouth. You know what that
No,
means?
not every man could do that. At the end of the day, Sydney was talking about. not every brain is wired the same. So not every man could handle that situation the way you would handle it. So you see, some men would curse, some men would walk away, some men would drink some water, like you said, put it in the mouth and just say nothing.
I say nothing.
So not every man could handle that situation the same way, because that is why when if you that type of woman and you're looking at that stream, I suggest you just do your thing and don't put the man in your business. So that way you don't make a problem with him because he didn't sweep the floor properly. So it
I,
doesn't make an issue.
I disagree.
See, I know, I know she would say that. I know she would say that. I know. So in other words, sometimes you have to remove yourself from that negative vibes. Just without making a problem, without making an issue, you just remove yourself from that negative vibe by not telling him, hey,
But you still haven't dealt with the problem.
no,
The
you
problem
haven't.
is still there. So when
No,
you
you.
walk away and you don't deal with it, the problem still exists. It's best if you just handle the problem in a reasonable fashion, and both of you all are happy. Cindy, what do you think about that?
I
I
just
think.
think,
Wait, Sydney.
man,
I think, I think, I think you handle that problem best, because there will be many problems to occur, and that would be one of many problems to come. So if in that way you handle that problem that way, there will always be problems to come. There will be a problem where you move your shoe and you forget to put it there, and then she say, I tired you put your shoe there, like you were a child.
But actually, housework. A lot of men try to avoid it, and sometimes
Yeah,
they try to get others to do it at all costs.
right.
Understand? Because they feel sometimes men feel demeaned by doing it. They say that that's a woman's job. But for women,
Mm-hmm.
cleanliness of a house is, I should say, a manifestation of warmth, hominess. Like a real home. Because if you realize in these times, men and women have different thresholds when it comes to cleanliness and dirt.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So sometimes you may find the complaint would come like from the woman, men don't listen. When I talk to him, he don't listen. When I try to do something, he don't listen. When I try to correct him, he don't listen. Blah 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 blah. And
I really don't think it's a woman's job. In my perspective, I don't think that it's a woman's job to clean the house. I just think that some women tend to do it better than some other women. So in other words, I would clean the floor and she could do it better than me. So I prefer hey babes, you know what? I know I could help you mop the floor, but just mop it because I know you could do it better than me. But I know, in other words, there are people who just weaker and stronger at some points. So I may be weaker in that point, but I'm stronger than you in another point.
And that's where the communication comes in.
yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
That's
That's
where the
right.
communication comes
That's
in,
right.
because if that one doesn't know what that one like, and then the bickering back and forth, the communication is very, very important between the two of you all.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the differences are different. You understand? Between men
Mhm.
and women. And
Mhm.
it's not
And
better, it's not
probably
for
the
worse.
way the man was brought up, that's not
Yeah,
the way the
this
woman is brought
that's
up. You
right.
understand?
So it's not better, it's not for worse. So you don't have to judge the differences. Just don't try to change the differences.
I'm
Because you
gonna
can't make them go away. It will always
I'm
be there.
I'm
Yes,
gonna
Ine?
I'm gonna throw it in again. As Mr. James said, and as you quoted from the Bible, women are the keepers. And we've heard that when you was younger, James, I was hearing the same thing. Women places in the kitchen, men go out and do the hard graft. Again, it's how society has thrown that picture, and we've all followed that. At some point, we've all followed what they've said. You know, um, what we're talking about, whether you do the floor better than me, to me, if you're in a relationship and you're both talking to each other, you're both communicating, these things will never happen. They will never happen because you will go to wash the dishes. And for me, I'll say this: if you don't wash something properly, you're gonna have dirt on it. So you yourself should have a standard where you're going in there and dealing with that neatly. So make sure, yeah, if I'm gonna sweep up, I'm gonna sweep up because this is my standard, and this is how my mother taught me, is to make sure I clean all the crevices and that. If my mother taught me when I'm washing dishes, make sure you get all that grease out. So that's my standard that I'm working with. And if I meet a woman and her standard is like that, we ain't gonna have them problems. Yeah, we're not gonna have them problems. But it is about communicating and exactly what's being said. A woman, if she's not happy, or some people, I'm not just saying women, especially some people, if they're not happy with what somebody's done, they just shut their mouth and carry on, rather than try to open up a conversation to say, you know what, I didn't like the way you done this, etc. You do it in your own way. Yeah, men don't like to, men don't like to open up because they feel that we are the breadwinners, and we, like James said, you're going to feel a bit of demeanor having to do the house, clean the house. But we've all done that. When you was younger, your mother used to make you clean the house anyway. So now you're adult. What's the difference?
And sometimes that's the problem too, because listen to this, this lady told me, right? Mama Shana, she told me, I was speaking to her about a certain situation, and she told me, this person knows how to do everything. Why are you allowing him to do this and you're not allowing him to help you in the house? You understand? And I'm going like, no, it wasn't a boyfriend, but but going back to what Richie said, a lot of men learn from very, very young how to wash, how to cook, how to clean, and how to do so many things around the house. But when they grow up sometimes and then they get with their buddies, they want to show, I'm the macho man.
A chauvinistic kind of thing.
Yes. And so they cease from doing that. And you find that ceasing from the moral standards that you're brought up with is going to bring you problems in your relationship. Let me hold on a second. Let me say hello to my viewers. My viewers, you all know I love you all. Cindy is in a very interesting topic. Okay. So let me say hello to my viewers. We have Facebook user. Okay, she said, okay, let's head the men. Okay, Richie, Marvin Dante. What Marvin D? That's Richie. Said Richie is hot or fire, whatever that is. And she said, somebody said, hey, which women? Cindy, want to see how you defending us women. Listen, I always defending you all. Okay.
We'll get some more women on to help you out.
Bring them up here. Show your face. So somebody say, my boy quoting the Bible. I know exactly who this is.
you know it wasn't me. You know it wasn't me.
So Errol Plummer said, I like this program. Thank you, Errol. I appreciate that. Very informative. Edison, ooh, that's my love. Okay. Yes.
Okay. You see, yeah, I think Cindy, I think we should mute her.
We should leave now, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You're really cheating on us.
Okay, yeah. You see, a lot of the issues that men have right now in relationships is because they suffer from PTSD. A lot of it's not just an assumption. It's a stress disorder that is triggered by a terrifying event that happened in your life. It may have happened with your first love. It may have happened with your second love. It may have happened with somebody. You know, because everything that happens today is because of something that impacted your life before. So, in other words, if you had an issue with a bank, you're trying to clear off that loan. You say to yourself, I'm not gonna take that loan. I'm not gonna take a loan again because of what I went through. So, in other words, what happened in the past affects the way you think today.
I agree with
So you'll be skeptical about making decisions today because of your past. So that is why a lot of out of 100%, 70 to 60% of men suffer through PTSD.
You see,
Yeah.
I can agree with you on that point, but here it is, like Cindy said a while ago, it's a matter
Uh,
of communication. If you have
mhm,
had instances where you were sidelined, you were maligned in the past, you were abused, whatever it is that happened to you in the past, that is
mhm,
okay. It has happened. No one can
mhm.
change that. But if you have a partner and you can communicate to your partner and let your partner know, okay, I'm not hiding anything from you. This is what has happened to me in the past. This is what I went through in the past. You understand?
Mhm.
Though it is not her business, though it is not her business, but it is your duty as a partner to let her know that whatever it is that you went through in the past will not affect, or will try your best not to let it affect your relationship with your woman now. Because I tell
Okay.
you,
Agreed.
some person,
And
some
that's
men,
why, and that's why
Ag-
I said when he said when in the beginning I said, so you live in your old, you live in a one relationship with baggage and coming into another
no, you
relationship
see,
with baggage.
you see, the world that we're living in right now, both genders get PTSD. So both genders are bringing baggage from a relationship that they just had. So it even if you communicate with your spouse or your girlfriend and you tell her, hey, this is what I went through. I had this girl, she break my heart, or I break her heart, that sort of thing. But what if that person still has, you can't really, even if you communicate with that person, but you can't really make a change in that person's life. That person has to be willing to make that change for herself or himself. So in other words, one person would want to make that change, but the second person is still adopted. It happens that that second person is still carrying baggage.
What's your
It's
thoughts on that, Mr. James?
it's it's acceptance is the key, because if you're carrying this baggage for whatever reason, one, you have to accept that, yeah, you have this baggage.
Mm-hmm.
Two, you have to then think, okay, I want to go into another relationship. Am I taking this with me? No, I'm not. So then you have to think of what strategy, what are you putting in place to get rid of this baggage, so that the next partner you meet or the next person you meet doesn't have to deal with that. And that's that time you have, you finish a relationship. Okay, so Tuckman's theory is about norming, storming, performing, yeah, and mourning. And that, even though it's all about group stages, it works the same. It's the same principle for if you're in a relationship. The storming period, you meet each other, you have your arguments. The norming, you've sorted out your arguments. Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying you making a change for your life. But what about that person who's bringing the baggage to whatever you carry, you want to build?
No, no, Richie, that's what I'm saying. You have to be able to get rid of that baggage.
Yes, you already
Yeah.
get rid of that baggage,
Yeah.
but that person has a baggage carrying, but you're not seeing it.
Then that's about the communication. If that's not going to be open, then you're setting yourself up for big problems.
Yeah, but
Because if you're
even if it's open, not everybody has the capability of getting rid of baggages.
no, they haven't. But everybody has. Okay, I think everybody does have the capability of getting rid of baggage. It deep down, it's how much you want to get rid of it. It's like,
Okay.
how much do you want something? How much do
Yeah,
you want something? And if you're not willing to be truthful and honest with your feelings, you're gonna stumble at the first hurdle.
that's correct.
You have to,
Sacrifice.
yeah, you have to. Otherwise, you might as well stay in that lost time that you're still in 10 years' time. You're going to be sitting down there without no partner, and it's because I didn't want to deal with this. Life still goes on. And I hear what you're saying, Richie. Not everybody can deal with it all straight away. But
Hmm.
unless you open up and talk to somebody, and I know it can be fearful, I know it can be scared, but you have to do that if you expect to move on. Otherwise, like you just said, you're going into the next relationship. This person's opening up and telling you everything, but you don't want to because you're not ready. So when would you be ready? How long do you expect that person to wait?
And most of the time, men don't open up.
No, we don't. Like I said, we've been conditioned. Like I said earlier, when you used to play football or go running down the road with your dad or your friend, you fall over. You don't get up, stop crying. We've always
Hmm.
told that. Why couldn't we
So
cry?
so what we saying is men are the ones who bring the baggage in relationships, because
Not
if,
No,
in
No,
other
no, no,
not
words,
no.
all the time. No, not
no,
all the
Oof,
time. Not
oof,
all
no,
the
no, no,
time.
no,
not
no,
all
no,
the
no,
time.
no.
Okay.
Not all the
not all
time,
the
but
time.
as James said, we've both got, but there's both sets of baggage because women carry the same baggage. They've just been in an abusive relationship. They don't really want to say nothing. They're scared about jumping into a next relationship because, is this man going to be abusive to me? They don't know, so they still have that kind of baggage as well. But it does come down to two people. You need to, if you want a relationship with that person, you're saying, this is the person I want to be in for the next 10 years of my life. You have to be open and honest. You can't go into a relationship lying day one. You lie in day one, your whole relationship is going to be a lie.
Exactly,
Yes,
exactly,
yes.
exactly.
And I
Yeah.
personally
And,
feel I may be wrong in saying that, but I feel personally it's my opinion that if I'm going through something, I went through a very bad relationship, I am not just gonna jump into another relationship, but I'm gonna take time for me to at least find a measure of peace within myself and to be able to heal myself in some ways so that I can, when I go into that other relationship, then I won't be a burden to anybody. You understand? To that other person. I won't bring it with me. And another thing, I I have faced a lot in my life. I suffer, and I don't hide it. I suffer with PTSD. I suffer with mental illness. I suffer with depression. I suffer with anxieties. But I will not let these factors allow me to treat another person the way that I would not want them to treat me. I will not do that. Not everybody is like me, but I feel that for you to have a meaningful relationship, you understand?
Hmm.
You
Yep.
need to know how to curb certain things that has happened in your life. And if you start abusing that partner because of what somebody else did to you, then that person is going to go and abuse somebody else, and it's going to be a cycle.
that's
Hmm.
right, that's right, that's right. But
Yeah.
and you see, here's where the discussionary part of the relationship comes in, because relationships is more than a simple conversation.
Yes.
Because you have to deal with serious issues. You have to discuss serious issues and urgently take them seriously as well. You see, when you
Mm-hmm.
have a discussion, it helps you to focus on that topic, especially your baggage.
Mm-hmm.
And in that period of time, you can cover as much in depth as you need to. Because at the end of the day, it will help you build understanding and feel more emotionally connected. Because sometimes, you know, your partner has to listen to you, and you have to listen to your partner when she has baggage as well. And then when you have done that, you have created a core value where, okay, I know what you're capable of. I know what you have been through. You know what I've been through. We have met on common ground. Okay,
Hmm.
so this is it for now. This is it. We're on level. We're on par. So we're moving forward now. So that baggage that I had, I feel relieved because I've taken it off my chest. I've
Hmm.
related to you, and you likewise have done the same. So we're moving forward from now. So the next level of discussion now is, what are we going to do
Mm.
from now?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What are we going to do from now? Are we going to stay compressed, or are we
Mm-hmm.
going to move up to another level? Because we have somehow gotten rid of that baggage. So we're going to
Okay.
discuss some serious things now. Because we have identified the issues.
So
We have
the next thing we should do in a
yeah,
relationship is commit to excellence and self care.
right. No, but you see, the thing is, the most important thing in the relationship is identify the issues that would hinder our growth when it comes to
Hmm.
loving each other and having a serious relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Understand? You have to recognize, I as the man have to recognize how you feel about my baggage, and I
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
likewise yours. You understand? And
Hmm.
then we have to have plenty of time for each other to make sure that our intentions via the discussions are articulated, and we know that from then on, understand, we start at on a good footing. We start at a good ground. Our personal development now will start to grow, and that will impact our living together. Because if
Mm-hmm.
our personal development do not grow after all what we have said and done, it doesn't make sense because
Okay.
let me tell you something. A change in circumstances can affect your relationship. A lot of things can change in a minute, and like this
Mhm.
thing goes, it happens.
So after communication, you're saying that, in other words, after communications, which is what you said, all of you guys said,
Yeah,
communication is the key. I agree to that.
yeah.
But we should both parties should have realistic expectations.
Yes,
Um,
yes, 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 yes. By all
and
means, by all means.
in other words, you cannot demand somebody to change, or neither do you expect them to meet all your demands.
That's
All
a
right.
mistake. That's a mistake that a lot of people in relationships do. They try to change each other.
Now
Yeah.
the
That's
other
the
thing
biggest.
the other thing that people do is they violate their boundaries in order to maintain their relationship, which they shouldn't do.
Mm.
You shouldn't violate your boundaries just to maintain your relationship. Find ways to compromise it. Find ways to grow so both of you could feel supported by each other.
Yeah, and people have to remember when you go into a relationship, just touching on what you said, Mr. James, when you go into a relationship, you're going in, or you're liking or you're loving what you're seeing now, not what you're going to see in 5 years' time. It's what you're seeing now. So,
Ting, 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 ting. Yes,
so
yes. I'll
that's
marry
what
you,
you're.
Simi. I'll marry you.
Mm.
Okay, that
So,
that's
so,
that,
so, so
that's
you
one
have
person.
to.
That's one person that's gonna get a divorce letter.
So,
It's okay. It's okay.
Go ahead, Simi. I'm sorry.
no, so that's what you're seeing, because I'm gonna be straight up.
Mhm.
I went into a relationship, and what I saw, I liked, and I was willing to work with it.
Mhm.
We had certain conversations, but within a month, 2 months, this person wanted to change me.
Look at that.
Wanted to change what I dressed in, and I'm resisting it because this isn't how you saw me.
Right.
If we'd had conversations and you told me X, Y, Z, we may never have gone further than the 1 month. But you never told me that when we were chatting. All of a sudden, you just bring new clothes to me and tell me, yeah, I want you should be wearing this. I don't even like the clothes. Yeah. And do you like Mr. James said,
I
that's what
completely.
happens. People try to change people when they get in a relationship. And as you said, Richie, to suit what they want.
Right.
That's again, that's one of the issues. Be what you have, the cards you're dealt with, learn to work with them. It's simple
Right.
as that.
Now
Yeah.
a lot of I know a lot of people, right? I've seen that happen a lot. Okay, people get into a relationship, they what for whatever reason they stay in there, they get married, and along the line, then they will go like, I don't like this about you anymore, and I don't like that about you anymore. But when you were getting into it, you know exactly what you were getting into. So why all of a sudden you don't like it?
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly.
I remember. I met a friend of mine, and I asked a friend, "What happened to you and your girlfriend?" Tell me, guys, so man, that woman changed. One time she had a child, she looked different, blah blah blah. Her boy not the same way again, blah blah blah. I said, "That's a shut your mouth. You're an idiot." I said, when you met the girl, you're all wow, whoa, whoa, boy, beautiful.
Mhm.
So all of a sudden the wow gone just because she had a child. All of a sudden the wow gone just because her body changed.
Yeah. Physical. Physical.
She's
Hey,
still the same person.
Mhm.
She's still the same person. Not because she have a child, her body looks different. To think that you're gonna discard her just because of what, and then
Yeah.
you're gonna leave her, go and get another woman. You have a child for another woman. The same shit happen again. Her body change again. So what? You're gonna
no,
it's
hey,
gonna be a cycle for
censorship,
you.
censorship, censorship. Hey, no.
Yeah.
No, but you
You
see,
see. You see. Some men like the smell of a new car, and they don't like the smell of a used car.
And
So, in other words, That's not me. So don't give me that face. Okay. So after using that new car for so long, and it becomes used and abused, they don't like it anymore. But they were the one who had it at first when it was new.
Let me say something here. When you meet with a woman for the first time and you consider her your wife or your woman because you got married to her, and you realize things start to change. But what changed? Is it her? Is it you? Is it the mentality? Is it your mentality? Is it the differences in opinions? Is it the lack of communication? What changed? And then also you may decide, okay, my Pavlo walk on a little outside. Now shape a lot from. This is pure BS. Because if you love somebody and you truly care about that somebody will be yours forever. In spite of, despite of, regardless of. Because nobody is perfect. Everybody has the challenges, male or female alike has the challenges in a relationship.
Yes.
What sometimes what the woman wants is not what you would want, but there must be compromise, there must be give and take.
Mm-hmm.
Because love is not one side, not one hand clap clap. Understand? And if you're gonna be, how should I put it? If you're gonna be lackadaisical in your approach when it comes to your affair with your girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
and believe that okay, I'm the man, so I can do what I want, and she just have to respect that because say mocking namla in Ibu chebe koi. So I'm saying to myself, why would you want to put yourself in a situation like that when you know your woman cares for you, she washes for you, she shops, she cooks, she do everything in the house she does for you. Even when you're broke ass, can't even afford $1, she gives you money because of
Censorship.
the little money she has on her side. The little money she has, all the money given her, she still with it as that way of calling it vex money. All the vex money she call it in. When your ass broke, she just give you that little vex money.
Hello. Hold up a second. Hold up. Stop cussing.
Yes. on that, on
No,
that note,
serious.
According to the Ghanaians, are they? Huh? Why?
I
No,
think
I'm just
I think you might have to do a settings every time somebody cuss. You hear
Innit?
beep beep
You're gonna need
beep
to get one of them.
beep. You might
I
have to
don't know
get
how to
that.
do that. Okay,
well,
so let me
my
tell you what
apologies,
our
man.
viewers are saying. So our viewers are saying, let me see. Hold on. So good dear, okay. Vivian, she watching all Ghana. Okay, Vivian Hagan. He's watching away from Ghana. Natoki Anthony said big up, and he said some used cars still smell new. And he said according to its maintenance. Oh Lord have mercy.
Well, I'm
She's
not
no,
surprised.
no, but but think about it. According, some new cars smell new. According, some old cars, used cars still smell new according to its maintenance. Again,
You can put new parts in there.
No, yeah, there's plastic surgery nowadays. Yes, if you can afford it, but it's about the maintenance. Is about that relationship that you have been in. If you look at it like that, how is that maintained? How has it been maintained? Have you had that open relationship? Have you been honest with each other so that the love that you first saw is still there 10, 15 years time? And as Mr. James said, the only thing things that might have changed might have been the body shape. Of course, if I see a girl that's 20 and when I'm 21, she's not going to have the same body shape at 41. I have to learn to accept that. But
Unless
I'm
you maintain
loving,
it. Unless you
yeah.
maintain it.
Oh, yeah, unless I maintain it.
Hmm.
Like I said,
Yeah.
plastic surgery is very expensive
But
nowadays. Yeah,
but when you get into a relationship, you're supposed to accept the person for
exactly.
everything. Even if that
Yeah,
person got bigger or slimmer, you have to just
yes,
accept that person.
Exactly.
It
yes.
is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
because the
Yeah,
heart has
about to
not
come
changed.
for you, Richie. About
I
to come.
know, I know, I know, I know, I know. So I have to make sure I fix the way I say the words. Yeah. So you
Let
have to
me
accept.
tell you
You have to
something.
accept that person. You have to accept that person because once you make up your mind and you say that's the person you're gonna get married to, or that's the person you're gonna put in your life to build that relationship with, you have to accept what that person getting big. But at the end of the day, what are you doing? If you don't want to see her big, what are you doing to motivate her to trim
Yeah,
down?
trim down.
Yeah, what are you doing? Okay, babes, I realize you're getting a little too fat. I do love you, and I realize getting fat is not good for your heart. You're getting not just fat, you're getting real fat.
Hold on a
Where
second.
no, no, hold on. You're getting fat, really fat, and in other words, fat to a point where you over 200 pounds. And I realize
Oh, listen,
you
I'm
got,
over
you got
200 pounds. Where are we
not,
going?
not. Wait, hold up. So you over 200 pounds. This is not good for. I would say our health. I wouldn't say your health. So let's the two of us start to run. Let's do it together. So that way we can make it happen.
A
Let's
salad,
just do it together.
a
You see,
Let's
salad and leaf diet.
you see,
yeah,
let me tell you
yeah.
something, yeah? You ever,
Yeah.
you ever get you ever
You
get
see all of
the
this. I'm
creation that
letting you see.
says
You see all of this.
you ever hear,
Oh
you
no,
ever
we have
Censor,
hear,
some,
Hold
we
Cindy,
have
on.
some,
Hold on.
we have
censor,
some
Cindy.
young viewers. We have
Yeah,
some young viewers.
What I
Cindy,
have
censor.
said, so I'm going to censor you. Huh?
Mm.
Listen. You see all of this. This is more goodness to hold. You hear me?
Yes, a
More
pillow.
Let
So
me
you-
tell you. I'm gonna show you something. This was me right here. You
that
see
was
how
a good
skinny I was.
I love
Your
that
skin.
display in there.
You see how skinny I was. You know how skinny I was, right, Ethelbert?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
see how skinny I was. This woman you see right here has more wisdom than she had when she was that skinny. Okay, that doesn't mean I
mhm,
didn't have wisdom. You understand? But I have more wisdom, and I have not changed in my personality. I have grown because I am a
mhm,
woman. The outer shell that you see on a woman, it is not what she's made up of. And
But it's not difficult.
a
Yeah.
lot of men has look at me with cast. I'm a beautiful woman. Look
Of
at me.
course.
Of
Come
course.
on.
Okay. I'm a
Come
Ingrid,
beautiful.
on.
Ingrid.
But men, a lot of men, I'm not saying these men are a lot of, not all men, but a lot of men are very shallow. They see on the outside. Somebody told me men are visual creatures. Yes, I understand that. Women are visual too. We like to see what we like to see. But will we? And sometimes we make mistakes. But a lot
hmm,
of men are very shallow.
hmm,
Oh
hmm,
yes, yes we do.
hmm,
I mean, I'm not
hmm,
going to. I don't
hmm.
sugarcoat things. I don't sugarcoat
Yes,
things. And
there was once in Viewport I saw a girl smiling at this guy from head. As soon as she smiled at him. As soon as she looked at his feet, the smile went away.
okay, shallow. Yeah. Like I was saying, when I was skinny, I was getting men were hitting on me like crazy. You understand? Now
They
that I'm
still do.
they still do. Yeah.
Send me the address. We're going to stop that right now.
Hmm.
A lot of men look at the woman's size and they don't want to talk to a woman, and they don't realize that sometimes you letting the most beautiful thing pass you by because you're looking at the outer shell and not the inner
Yeah,
shell that a
exactly.
person
I
is. You
agree.
Right.
understand?
I agree.
A lot of men, I'm not saying my business on the show, but I'm a very reserved person. I don't judge people by what I see on the outside. I don't. I judge on what I see on the inside. I make my assessment. Sometimes I'm wrong, you understand? But
Hmm.
you should never look at the person's outer shell and make a judgment because of that. Because let me tell you, the grass always looks greener on the other side. Until you start walking in that grass, you find they have snakes, they have serpents, crocodiles, all kind of things. Then that green grass you see over there, what it is now? You almost
Uh,
dying. Get
But
into the green.
from the time you start dating that person, you're supposed to get to know that person already, so you can know what that person wants in a
Listen,
relationship.
hold on. There are some people, and I'm telling you from experience, they are going to mask it. They're gonna play it so well you couldn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my experience. They're gonna play it so well you wouldn't see it. So you cannot always say that. You have to take your time and like communication, make sure that you know you are doing all your you become an FBI if you have to become. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But do your homework.
James said something earlier when he was talking, or I think it might be Richie, we was talking about give and take and sacrifices.
Right.
Um, because in a relation, that's did again communication, even that to build that friendship, it's about talking and listening, understanding, having empathy. They're things that you need to have for that relationship to work, and you have to make sacrifice. I say life is about compromise because you're not gonna get everything you want. So you
Mm-hmm.
need to learn how to negotiate and navigate yourself into a position that you may not get everything you want, but you may get something close. And you're going to have to learn to settle with that because the bottom line is you're not always 100% of the time going to get what you want. And that's how it
Mm-hmm.
is in a relationship. You have to have that communication so that you can give and take. Okay, babes, we're going to buy a house together. She wants the front room in pink. I'll say, babes, no, pink is not the right color, you know. All right, we compromise. I'll work with red. Yeah. So that's how you have to work things. Not every situation you go in is going to be a win-win. Sometimes you have to have that loss to win. And
Mm-hmm.
people need to understand that. And that's
Yep.
That's
what
why they
it,
say marriage
yeah,
and relationship is not a sprint, it's a marathon because you have to take
yeah.
all these years to be able to know that person. You're not gonna know that person all about that person in a year, in maybe 5 in 10 years. Because as you grow together, you'll learn each other. It's about being patient, about communicating, you understand, about meeting each other halfway and compromising on certain things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And what's that situation? My situation. I will put it on air. I used to hate big people, full blown women. I'm telling you, I used to hate full blown women. And no, I'm being honest here. I used to dislike them. I'm being honest. I used to dislike. I like slim. I used to love slim women. And then one day I saw this woman by. Well, it wasn't blue collar. It was M&C walking down there. This full blown woman. Man, let me tell you something. I swore to God, it was an angel walking towards me. Her dressing, her smile, her demeanor, her walk, her poise, her posture, everything about that big woman was perfect. And I just kept, and she realized I was watching her, she smiled. Mama, 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 ça a jeté moi. I thought I go to heaven. And from that day, my perspective about big women just changed. And who am I
Mhm.
married? And who am I married to now? A full-blown, beautiful lady,
Is it that same person is over there?
17 years now. 17 years now.
Ah,
Understand? So I believe that some men just have a perception in them about their women putting on weight and that they will be too embarrassed to go out in public with their woman. Any woman
Mhm.
out there listening, if your man too embarrassed to go out with you, put him on the side. Yeah, worth it.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Because you will always be you. And when you have a full-blown woman, banana bullshit,
Mhm. You have a whole pillow. Eh? You have a whole pillow there. Eh? You
Multi
have a
love,
whole.
multi love.
and the cushion, innit?
when you put your hand there, they still have,
Mhm.
you know what I mean?
You have a whole teddy bear.
Exactly. So
Eh,
I'm not saying, I think it's just perception of men when it comes to women putting on weight. You have a woman in the house, she's putting on weight. If a man were to tell a woman, hey babes, I noticed you're putting on weight, one you have to trim that down, you put on too much size, too much weight.
Mhm.
That is offensive.
Yeah. If
Understand
the
that?
way if you say it like that, yeah, she'll feel
Yeah,
offended by it.
because I'm saying there's a thing in the English language they say it's not what you say,
Is
it's
how you
how you
say it.
say.
Yes.
Right.
Understand? And that would be offensive to a woman to see a man telling her that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
To be etched in the mind that look, like, what's wrong with him? What have I done? I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
everything for this man, and that's how he insults me, and everything like that. And right away, it creates a division
Mm.
between you and that woman because she
Words,
feels
let me tell
degraded,
you,
she feels demeaned by just
words,
you
words
telling her
can
about
be
her wit.
words can be very, very painful,
Oh
especially
yeah, oh
when
yeah, oh
a
yeah, oh
woman
yeah.
is trying to look to find that confidence within herself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe a lot of times a lot of women put on weight, maybe they have health issues, underlying health issues they don't know about, you
Mm.
understand?
Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to deal with something, maybe they're stressed out over something. A lot of times, when women have stressed out, a lot of women eat. Sometimes, me, I personally, I don't have to eat for me to gain weight. If I'm stressed, I will gain weight. I will stay 3 4 days without eating and I'm still going to gain weight, you understand? So these days I'm happy, yo. Uh-huh. No
I
more
like
weight.
to. I like to say something. I don't like where that topic going.
Hold on a second. No,
That topic. That topic straight from men to women, and we we kind of giving women a
No,
lot of a lot.
a
you have to
discussion.
face. You have to face the. You have to face the reality. That's
Yeah,
what men.
the reality of this is, everything that you guys said is right. Everything that you guys are saying is right. We have to cherish and love our women because that is what we supposed to do as men,
Respect.
and respect our women.
Right.
Mhm.
All right, we supposed to respect our women. We, at the end of the day, that is the woman you come home to, you sleep next to. That is the woman who's gonna cook for you, clean, and that's gonna have your kids, take care of your kids. So that you have to, you cannot put anybody else above that woman because that is a woman who has been there from day one.
With
But
But here's the
sometimes,
other one.
sometimes you do so much for. I'm speaking from a woman's perspective. Sometimes you do so much for a man. You take care of the home. You do everything, and yet still they don't appreciate it. They're still gonna bash you either way.
Mm-hmm. It
They're gonna
that's
happens.
a,
bash.
that's
Also,
a that's an
it
ungrateful
happens.
man. That's an
It
ungrateful.
happens.
Yeah, and
It happens. And you see, the thing about life is men need to separate what is right for their life instead of pleasure. In other words, if you have friends that's gonna motivate you, you stick with them. And if you have friends that's gonna say, "Hey, Casa, they have two chicks down the road, one for me, one for you," that's not a good friend. So you just have to separate how you live your life. If you want a good life where you leave your phone at home and and you forget your phone at home and you don't have to worry about going to Castries and your woman find your phone and she has nothing to see in there, that is a good way. That is a good relationship. That is a good way of thinking. Because you're more at ease when you come in home where you have nobody quarreling about somebody texting you on your phone.
I got 2 points I want to bring out. Okay, number one, what we don't like, what we like, will not like us. They will like something else. Okay. What is the second point I wanted to bring out? Okay. I forgot what I was going to say, But what we like will not like us. Okay. Sometimes we see somebody, we say, oh my gosh, this is my type, my type, my type, my type. Is that type right for you? What we want may not be what we need. There's a difference between a want and a need. I want
mhm.
this woman. She looking good. She got a big booty. Okay. But is that booty what you really need? There are women who have been in relationships with men. I hear a lot of men say, I need a woman to motivate me. I need a woman to push me forward. I need a woman to be, work with me. And when they get that woman and that woman is treating them good, they turn around and treat that woman like a dog. They treat her like she's nothing. And when she walks away, she's the bad one. I have seen it. I have witnessed it. I have been a product of it myself.
That is men with Windows XP processors,
Mhm.
and they still use dial-up instead of Wi-Fi. on a serious note, on a serious note, yeah, all of what you're saying is true. And you do get men that say all of the things because you just said to me that women are really good at acting and men are really good at acting at what they do in a relationship. So they would pretend that, they would say, that is what they want, but that's not really what they want when they get into the relationship. So basically, you just have to do what you have to do to make yourself better in life because you have to take risk in life. Life is all about taking risk. So you find somebody, you start dating somebody, and in your mind you're gonna say, okay, you're afraid for that person to hurt you because it's always gonna be at the back of your mind.
And you have to protect yourself either way, but you'd have to protect yourself in the wrong way. You understand? You'd have to protect yourself in the wrong way.
Yeah, you protect yourself because, as like I said, we're humans, we're emotional creatures, and nobody wants to get their feelings trampled on. Nobody wants to feel upset. Nobody wants to feel that they're being used or abused. Nobody wants to feel that they're being belittled, especially men. Men are so bad like that because we have this feeling that we're indestructible and we shouldn't be putting up with this at all. And this is where we do have the problems that overlap into our relationships. And this is where things just break down because people are not being honest with each other. We want this. What you want out of life, you're not always going to get. And
So,
if you are one of those people that you keep jumping from relationship to relationship, if you're one of them men that keep jumping from relationship to relationship, you have a problem. But like I said, you have to learn to accept I've got a problem. Why is it that I just keep chasing all these women and then I'll just stay with them for 2-3 months and I'll move on? Is it growing up, I had friends that you go around to their house and you'll be chilling in the bedroom. You look on their bedpost and they got all the carvings. That's how many women they had. And they'd be
Uh-huh.
boasting. They'd be boasting about that. Like that's some big accomplishment. Like you just became the king. But that again is the psyche that men have or men have had. I've got to bed as many women as I can to show I'm this macho man. And that has
Uh-huh.
followed us through time. That has followed us generations after generation. Keep picking that up, and that cycle needs to be broken
Mm-hmm.
with all the men, with all these. So when there's a breakup, say in I don't know how it is in America, but up until recently in England, if you divorced as a man, you got the bad deal. Literally, if you was in a home, even if the mortgage was under your name, because the woman was classed as being a vulnerable female, they had more rights to the home than you did. So then, if you follow that pattern, a lot of men were then kicked out and had to find accommodations. That's going to drive them anxiety. That's going to make them even more depressed.
Uh-huh.
So there are things that have led to the rise in male suicide. Is a lot of those things there, you know?
Yes, James.
yeah, I agree with Seni 100%. Um, you see, and you spoke about the machoism of men. You have men who will stick to the guns
Mm.
no matter what. They will stick to the guns. They will give two shits about what the other person think. They will just stick to the guns. And when they stick to the guns now, they don't realize that they're digging a hole for themselves as well. Because when you stick to your gun, your belief is that you are always right.
Mm.
And you cannot never be always right, no matter what. In a relationship, it's give and take. One listens to the other, and a compromise is rich. If there is no compromise in the relationship, no give and take, that relationship becomes useless because it will always be a halikasi. That one shouting on that one, there, that one talking over that one there, and where does it end up? Maybe they end up in a fight. The man slapping the woman because she talking too much or she insulted him. That one is trying to be defensive. That one is trying to be destructive. That one is trying to be counterproductive. Understand? But the main issue is not being confronted at all because somebody has to be right,
Mhm.
and it cannot work. This is why most of the relationships you find nowadays, um, the men will grumble and say, "That's what from that, that's what from that." You know, the women will say the same thing. Nomza, kwe, boss me. You know, maki fama kaila or maki noma kaila. I'm the man in the house. I'm the woman in the house. So no compromise is being reached because somebody has to be right
Hmm.
all the time, and that relationship cannot work.
And
It will be detrimental.
sometimes I have learned, sometimes for you to be the bigger person and you know that is going to bring into an argument, you respectfully say, okay, I understand where you're coming from. I was wrong. So let's caution.
Well,
A lot
sometimes
of a
the,
lot of
okay,
people do that.
the egotistical nature of man won't allow that to happen.
No, no, no.
Telling
I've
you.
I've been in a relationship where it didn't last long, but exactly what you said. And if I can see the sky is blue, but this person believed it was red, so I'll tell them, okay, just to in case, because for me, I didn't want to argue, and I knew it was going to go down that road. I knew because this person had this stubbornness about them, and that's why it never lasted long because this person they couldn't see things like that. It was blinkers. That's what they
Okay.
had on.
In a relationship, to avoid those confrontation much, people need to practice self-reflection,
Yeah.
That's important. Hmm.
because before you open your mouth and answer your wife or your girlfriend, reflect on everything that you go through or everything you've been through in your life. So, before you're actually going to say something negative, just reflect on everything you've been through and say, you know what, it's not even worth it.
And
It's
Yeah.
not even
sometimes,
worth answering.
we're gonna say things that we are not perfect. We're gonna say things. We're gonna get to the place where we're gonna say things out of anger. And
Yep.
the reasonable thing to do is apologize and say, "Yes, I was wrong. I shouldn't have said that to you." But once the word come out, that's the thing about words. Once it come out of your mouth, you cannot take it back. So
Mm.
it depends on what you do after you say those things.
Mm-hmm. So you
Yeah.
just reflect. You reflect on something before saying something negative. You reflect on everything you guys have been through, and then you try to resolve the issue instead of putting fire in the pot or putting more fire. You try your best to resolve the issue in a manly manner. That way you have an edge and she has an edge. So that way you don't put her down and you don't put yourself down.
But you see, there's something called temperament, and because the temperament of two persons can make a great success. You can have great success. Understand? Because each person have to understand each other's temperament. So
Mm.
and at the same time, that will help them to manage their emotions in making a success of the relationship. Because psychologically, it broadens your individual differences in such a way that your systems of values and what have you will grow because now you're getting to know each other because the more you know about the person, the more you get more comfortable because you know the person's inside out, the communication aspect of it. You understand? If there is no temperament, there can be no communication. So if two persons are of the same temperament, trust me, that marriage is going to be a brouhaha. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a brouhaha because
One has to
we don't take
balance
the
each other
money.
out.
Yeah, and
So
so we have to. So the couple have to manage themselves in a way that you know you have to cool down. You have to let sanity prevail. You have to give and take, give room for peaceful settlement. You know,
yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
because you not call your wife a talkative wife, but
Chatter,
you
uh,
have to
a, ch-
appreciate her.
a
You have,
chatterbox cine.
yeah, you should you should appreciate her for speaking her mind.
No, but
Yeah.
Likewise, she has to appreciate you to speak her mind.
I'd rather her be in chatterbox than just sit silent. Because I'd get mad in the place. You just sitting there silent. I'd rather you chat my ears off, you know.
Listen, when a woman is talking, that means she cares. She wants you to grow. She wants to see you better. The minute she stop talking,
Oh yeah.
Watch your back.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
Watch your back.
you know the funny thing about life again in relationship, a man will be for a woman or vice versa, and they will have this one little problem, slightest thing. Sometimes the man will put the shoe where he's supposed to go, or he put the toilet seat down, or he put the toothbrush upside down. Little itsy bitsy things will bring a big problem.
Petty things.
That's little
Mm,
things.
yeah.
And then what you're finding is that a situation comes up where that one vexed against that one vexed against that one, and they go to bed vex, they get up vex for a petty little thing. Because one cannot say, okay, I was wrong, I'm sorry, it won't happen again.
listen. Once you laying down next to me, you ain't going to bed.
Mm.
Breathe, no.
Cine, look out, Cine. Look out, Cine.
Hey, everybody.
Cine, look at that.
I
Edit.
Look at that. Look at
Sure.
that.
Well, I don't intend to sleep tonight, do I? Oh, gosh. You have me up all night.
because when I'm laying down, I want to put my arms around you. You gonna be mad with me? No.
Of course I won't be mad with you. Oh, gosh.
You push your hands once or twice and then you'll just let it be.
And it, yeah, that's right. Go on then.
But
Lick me.
you know the funny thing about it? We, the men, when this thing is happening, you know the woman will stay there all night and she had taken you on. Is we that go back after that, eh?
Fun. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right, Cindy? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We always go back.
Yeah, always
Oh
go
my
back, yeah.
goodness, this is such an amazing topic, guys. Listen, I'm planning to have this every 2 weeks, but it looks like I'm gonna have it every week. It's too hot.
I want it more than every week. Come on.
Every Friday,
I'm
every
in
Friday.
trouble. Oh my
Right,
God.
the every Friday is fine.
Yes, every Friday. So we're gonna have different topics. And James, thank you so
Uh-huh.
much for coming on. Listen, I always ask people when I'm on the show. I don't make this about me. I
Uh-huh.
always ask people if they want to join the live, and I'm so glad that you told me you wanted to join in. It made it even more interesting. So thank you so much. And so I'm gonna
No
be
problem.
here every week on Friday, Lord. I'm gonna have more work.
Cindy, until somebody says something that's out of the way and then she jumps in.
But you have to be careful where you put.
She's like, look, you see her.
And listen, I can let you have the whole stage. I gotta make things that too. No, but this is very an interesting topic, and I really, although we were talking about mental health, but everything goes into one because
Yeah, because we spoke about relationship as well. So yeah.
when it's a discussion, and the discussions is better to have a very meaningful and productive discussion where everybody give their views instead of just one
You know,
person asking question. And I love that. I really love our
and,
interchange tonight.
as we spoke about health,
Mm.
there are a lot of men who leave their wives to go after Jabal. And when they fall sick, Jabal bring them back to the wife, you know.
Yes.
Jabal bring them back to the wife.
Mhm.
Jabal will take
That's
care of
what I
them.
say. The grass may look green on the other side, but there's snakes in there.
Yeah. As you go and plant
Hey,
the back already.
hey,
Yeah.
we counting. We need to. We need to stop bashing our youth. We need to stop bashing the people of nowadays. The people of back then was the craziest. When you see a man, or my grandfather in the days, when you see he bring his woman and his job out to have children in the same month, in the same hospital on the same date. The people of back then was the craziest. The people of now is just doing crazy things, but the people of back then, when you see a mother has 20 or 16 kids, you
Mhm.
don't see girls nowadays having 16 children.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
The
because you
cost
see,
I don't
is
know.
is the
I
cost
don't
of
it was
kids.
affordable to have
Yeah.
children back then. Because when I grew up, when I
So you're
grew up,
saying men abstain now?
yeah, because it's damn expensive to have a child now.
And
Trust
it
me,
for real, yeah.
very expensive to have a child
It
now.
is. It is
Yeah.
expensive.
Hey, hey, don't start Cindy. Don't start Cindy.
No, it is. No, I'm
No,
being honest.
seriously, it is
If
very
you work at
expensive
the
to have a
Hey,
cost
child.
of a child works at something ridiculous about £23,000 a year. If you have but that's how much it works out for a baby. Now you have to have two of yous working in a job because in England that's about your average salary 23, 25,000.
so so
Okay.
so imagine now, you'll get me fired up now.
Go on.
Imagine it takes so much
mm-hmm.
to raise up a child, and these men are going to give these women children and leave them and go for them to take care of their child by themselves. Oh,
mm.
this is a whole nother topic. Yeah, yeah.
All
This
right,
is
I'm
a
gonna.
special.
Sorry,
Let's
I
leave that.
know.
I
Let's
think
leave
I
that.
think that
I
topic is
Let's leave
Friday
that
next
topic.
week.
no. I have to
Seriously.
jump in. I have to jump in. I've been a single parent for over 15 years.
I take that back, both men and women.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right.
I like that, Cindy. I like that because she's always on my back. I like that. I like that.
Yeah. So
Yes.
when I hear these women say that, I'll respect them on it, but I have to tell them, listen, I know what you're chatting about.
But
Mm.
Yeah.
honestly, no, honestly, it goes both ways. You understand? Because
Yeah.
there are women who have children and they leave the men to take care of these children. You understand? And
Yeah.
it's expensive to raise. I have been a single parent since my little boy was 2 years old. 2 years old. And I'm telling you, it is not easy to raise a child by yourself,
No.
especially
Well,
if I have a child with a disability and
I
I
tell
can't
you,
do a job as I want to. So it is difficult.
Yeah. It is. It is.
Yeah, we know.
the people that think it's easy,
Let them
they
have
don't
that.
know. They don't know. I think I
Yeah.
went through. I think I went through it. Eh?
I don't
I,
know
I I
what
know
they
I know
have
your
for the
story.
men, but
I know
me,
your
Huh?
story.
I put in
You want to hear my
chastisement.
story?
Hold
I
on.
said
I
I know
don't know
your
what they have
story.
for the men, but I put
Oh,
in
you hear my story?
chastisement.
I
Hold
know
on,
your
please.
story.
Listen,
Okay.
Richie. I don't know what they have for the men, but I put in chastisement belt, retainer belt, outer belt, inner belt, all kind of belt. I mean, having a children again,
Yeah, we
Mm-mm.
just vasectomy and men have in it and done.
You
So,
know.
Richie,
You know
so
my first relationship in my life. When a woman broke my heart, I used to say women was the devil.
Oh yeah. I remember. I remember.
I used to say I cried so much. I used to say women were the devil.
Yeah.
That's why that's why that's why men were not tempted, and that's why women were the ones who deceived us.
my Facebook user says greetings, Cindy. I said greetings to you, my Facebook user. I don't know who's watching me. It does the name doesn't come up, so greetings. Listen, guys, this has been such an interesting. So next week, I already have a guest for next week. So anybody want to come and jump in for us to be able to talk about this? Let me tell you, the topic next week is going to be absolutely hot too.
Tell me the topic.
You'll get the topic, Cindy. Don't worry. You'll get it.
I will post it.
Okay.
Okay.
Post the topic.
Huh?
But guys, it's already going up to 10 o'clock. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for being on here. This was really productive. I think these things need to be discussed. They need to
Anytime.
be, we need constructively as adults and see where each other is coming from different spectrums, from different male, both male and female. So I'm excited to see how this show goes, where it goes, because it looks like Mr. James here has a lot to say.
Oh yeah,
I'm a veteran.
a lot of confessions.
Innit?
I'm a veteran.
we
A
gonna,
lot of confessions.
we gonna learn.
A lot
We
of
gonna learn
uh,
from Mr. James. We gonna learn
yes,
from Mr. James.
yes, from big to small women.
Innit? We're gonna learn.
You see, you have the man falling off the chair, yeah?
From big to small women, and from heaven, from angels falling out of heaven.
Oh my God. Yes. But listen, guys, I want to thank you once again. I want to thank you guys. I always leave the show with this. Mental health is something that is really, really prevalent among people in society today. There are so many factors that contribute to our mental illness. People can lose a job, they lose children, they lose their spouses, breakup of relationships, abuse, you name it, things that will cause mental illness. So, excuse me, if you know someone who is suffering with mental illness, okay, reach out to them. If they're having suicidal thoughts, reach out to somebody that you know who's going through a hard time. Let them know that you can be just a listening ear or a shoulder to cry on, okay? Because
Uh-huh.
the end result may not be what you would have wanted for that person, okay? So I really, really thank you guys. If you are in the United States and you're feeling that you have suicidal thoughts or you're going through mental and you cannot cope, dial 988 and it's gonna go straight. You're gonna get some help. I don't know
What
what
about
they
the
have what they have in the UK, Cine.
In the UK, you have the Samaritans free phone number, and that will get you through to 24 hours help. Literally, okay.
Okay,
That's the
all
main.
right.
That's the main helpline that anybody, child, adult, anybody can call up.
So after the show, I would like you to send that to me because I want to address it everywhere, mental health everywhere. And what about in St. Lucia, James? What do they have for mental health? You and Richie, what do they have for mental health?
Um,
They have a number for real. Eh?
they have a number somewhere. I can't remember what it is.
Let me get the number.
But they do have interventions in place for persons with mental health. Yeah, they
Mhm.
do. I just can't
Okay.
remember the number of my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So in England, the number that you would be phoning is 116123, and that will take you straight through to the Samaritans 24-hour helpline.
Okay. Okay. So find out the one for St. Lucia for me, please, you guys. And before we
Yep.
go, listen, you're ready to party? You
The
ready to
National Mental Wellness Center is 452-7393.
Right, right.
Okay. 7393. What is it? National?
Mental Wellness Center.
And it is 4527393.
That's correct.
Okay, 758. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna make sure I do a little, slide for people to see. So listen, guys. Aha. Oh, let me close this off. I'm trying to find something. So myself, we have a very, very interesting not promotion going on, but we have a very interesting show going on. We'll put it on the same thing. On May 13th, 2023.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
That's for the
So
Blind Welfare Association.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
myself and Jonty and General Nya and Natural Vibes, we are going to have a show to the process are going to go in helping the blind welfare Association in St. Lucia. So I would ask you guys, whether or not you're coming or not, go to eventbrite.com and purchase a ticket. Support them, guys. Support. It's not for us, it's for them. We just came together as a group and decided we are over here, so we wanted to do something for the blind welfare in St. Lucia.
That's
So
in
go,
Georgia.
yeah, that's in Atlanta, Georgia. That's where I am.
Okay.
May 13th, so purchase a ticket and purchase a ticket and then show your support to the blind welfare. And I would like you all to go on my page, share this as many times as you want to and as many times as you can. Tag somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. Okay, we got to sell those tickets. We have to support our people because there's so many children in need, the special needs children, the blind. We need to help each other. Okay,
Yep.
so
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
tell a friend to tell a friend. Okay, so
Pass it on.
it's happening at Le Gourmet restaurant in Atlanta, and this is a St. Lucian restaurant in Lawrenceville, Georgia. Okay, so support,
Yeah,
support.
I've been there.
What's that?
Yes, I've been there.
Oh, you've been there, so you better come up for the show, no? All right, guys. Well, I always say, y'all know, let your voice be heard. There are no tap outs. Failure should never be a finality. Okay,
Right,
don't let
right.
it be the place that you stay. Rise to your prosperity, and remember, you have a voice. Don't be silenced by fear. I love you guys. Thank you so much to my co-host Sini and my guest Richie, and of course my impromptu guest Mr. James. Okay, have an
Thank
awesome
you.
day, guys. Until next week Friday. Okay, bye.
All
Yep.
right.
Okay, have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
Everybody.
Peace.
Bye.